Hey guys, so I just wanted to give another chicken experiment update. We just moved our chickens out to pasture on Sunday. So it's Wednesday now, so they've been out for a few days and they are loving it, especially the Red Rangers. I could not believe it. When we put them out, the Red Rangers immediately started running around and foraging and picking through the grass. Had no interest in the food really whatsoever. Goodness, now the sun's really coming out. The Cornish crosses, let's see, there you go, now you can see them. On the other hand, kind of explored for a minute, but as soon as that feed bucket went back in, that's where they were. And so I'm really amazed at just how the Red Rangers seemed just naturally inclined to forage and look for stuff. So I've been really pleased with that because that was one of the big things that we were looking for, and one reason we wanted to try another breed was just something that would just be a little hardier and a better forager. The other thing that I've seen a big difference now that they are out to pasture and they do have the option to forage is, again, feed consumption. It's amazing. The Cornish crosses, I did fill their feed bucket last night. However, it was only about an hour or two maybe before they bedded down for the night. So most of this has been consumed today, but I filled the bucket up about halfway, and you can see this is what they have left. It's like around 2 in the afternoon. So, you know, they've got some left, but not a ton, and trust me, they'll eat through this pretty quickly. The Red Rangers, on the other hand, I did not give them any extra food yesterday. Their bucket was still almost halfway full from when I filled it on Monday, and they've eaten almost the same amount, but remember, they didn't get any extra yesterday. So that just amazes me, and again confirms that, you know, they are out kind of ranging and not just sitting around their feed bucket eating. Now, I will say there's definitely a difference in weight now because we were, you know, picking them all up. We could really feel it when we picked up the Cornish crosses versus the Red Rangers. I meant to weigh them before we brought them down just because it's a little trickier to weigh them now that they're in the field. I need to find my little hanging scales so I can just have a bucket and pop them into the bucket and see where we're at. But I would say it's pretty safe to assume that at this point they're just over, well, let's see, the Cornish crosses were 4 weeks yesterday and the Red Rangers are 4 weeks today. So I would say the Cornish crosses are definitely a good solid, you know, half a pound to a pound ahead of the Red Rangers now. And I think that gap is only going to get larger just because the Cornish crosses are still so focused on eating food versus the Red Rangers that are all out grazing and foraging in the grass and stuff. So I think that's only going to get to be a bigger gap. However, again, I'm still really favoring the Red Rangers just because, I mean, they're still consuming half or less than half of the amount of food that the Cornish crosses are. And, you know, feed is definitely our biggest expense when we're raising them. So that is a big factor to me. We also use a nipple watering system with the buckets, and they do a great job. Sorry, sun's so bright I can't see. They do a great job at actually flipping over to that system. They're pretty fascinated by the little shiny nipple piece, and so they usually kind of come over, they check it out, they realize water's there, they get excited, and then the awesome thing about chickens is once one is interested, they're all interested. So we don't put, you know, their old waterers in here at all, and we don't really show them what to do. They figure it out pretty quick. And then I love these because they stay pretty clean. They're super easy to fill because I just kind of pop the hose in there, fill it up, and it gives them a good supply of clean, fresh water to drink. So we really have liked using these, and you can buy the nipple pieces off Amazon. I think I bought a pack of like 25 or so for like $7 or $8. So they're very inexpensive, and just use a regular old 5-gallon bucket. It works really well. Another thing you might have noticed is that we use 5-gallon buckets for our feeders. These cost just a few bucks to make. It's just one of your regular old buckets, and then this is, I believe, a 16-inch like pan that you would use for a flower pot. It's the thicker, not the real cheap kind of clear plastic ones, but the little bit thicker ones. I would say I would use a 14-inch pan next time. These are just a little bit too big. But these cost, you know, maybe $5 to make. And I like that we have the lids on them, which keeps them from hopping into the food, which we have found we've had a big problem with as they get bigger. If there's not enough room around the feeder, oh well, I'll just hop in. And then sometimes the Cornish crosses especially will get stuck in there because they're too fat to fly out. So those have worked really well. Like I've said before, we're all, you know, about doing things as cheaply as we possibly can. So those are just a couple ideas if you're thinking about raising pastured poultry. You don't need a lot of fancy equipment to do it. Alright, so I got cut off by a phone call, and then we're donating one of our vehicles, and the guy came to get it, and he's down there loading it right now. But I feel like it was really awkward to sit in your field with your chickens and talk to yourself on a camera. So anyways, I will keep you guys posted on how things are going, and I will definitely try to get some official weights done on the birds, you know, make this a little more scientific, I guess. But I'll keep you posted. Be sure to subscribe so that you can continue to get updates, and I will see you guys next time.